We're here with Nathan Snedeker with Jonathan Alder Football, getting ready for the 2024 season. Um, Coach, really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hop on a podcast for 10 minutes or so and just chop it up about some football for a little bit. First off, how's your summer going? I know, like you guys, coaches, they don't get much of summers anymore. It's you guys are go 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 all the time. But how was the summer and any vacations? Where'd you go?
Summer's been great working with our kids. We've got great kids at JA, so I mean it's fun showing up to work every day. But it's been good. Been able to spend some time with the family. Took a little trip down to Florida with the family, kind of get reset going into the season.
Sure. Yeah, you mentioned that like football seems like it keeps getting longer and longer. And I think now it's a thing where like 7-on-7s can kind of take place any time of year. Do you like that? Or, I mean, how do you feel about that sort of thing where the season kind of gets extended and you're able to do stuff all year round with the kids?
I like the possibility that or at least the availability to be able to go and do things like that. I think the kids get excited about stuff like that. It's a little challenging at a school our size. We always push our kids to participate in other sports, and that can be the challenge. I don't want to pull a baseball kid to go to a 7-on-7, and then if that kid
Right.
gets hurt and he's in the starting lineup, that's where I see a possible issue. But I like the opportunity to just be able to spend more time with our kids.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's one of those things like you see it in the NFL, like they're trying to add weeks onto the season and whatnot, and then the players are
Mhm.
like, "Well, can we get an extra bye week? Because I mean, we love football and we want to play more games always, but it's also like we need to take care of our bodies and have some rest and have some time to ourselves as well." So it's certainly an interesting dynamic, and it's kind of showing, I guess, how football has shifted over the last couple of years.
Yeah, you got to coach everybody up because you never know when the next person might get their call up based off of injuries, wear and tear, everything else.
Yeah, for sure. So how's your off season been with the guys then? I mean, have you participated in a lot of 7-on-7s this summer or other scrimmages? I mean, like regimen with practices and workouts and weight room stuff, installs. How's everything been, so far in your evaluation?
It's been good. It's been fun. We graduated a big senior class last year. So the really cool thing with that is the opportunity for what was the young guys that are now going to be the guys, getting to see them
Right.
grow up and take on leadership roles. And we did 4 7-on-7s. Our depth is actually in our receiver secondary area. And we have a lot of talent there. So just getting to play with some different ideas, different concepts, different approaches to the game has been a lot of fun this summer.
Do you have to change your playbook any to kind of fit around the guys that you do have stepping into some new roles, or do you kind of is it kind of do they just kind of step right in, or do you have to change some things to kind of accommodate for their skill sets?
We start with our base install, which is pretty much the same no matter who we have, where we are, and then we start to adapt with formations and things like that in order to try to play to our strengths. Different approaches, different play actions, defensively, different schemes and stunts that we're able to do based on what suits our kids the best. I think that's one of the big things when it comes to coaching, outside of just helping kids grow up and teach them, is finding their strengths and adjusting and adapting to use those strengths on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you graduated a big senior class, and one of the biggest guys that you're losing is Hollywood Cam Jewell. I mean, the guy did everything for you in his
Oh
career:
yeah.
4,500 yards, 62 touchdowns. He has every rushing record. He scored 7 touchdowns in a game twice. So, I mean, forget
Mhm.
doing it once; he did it twice. He's committed to Ashland, so I'm sure obviously you're very proud of him. But how much do you miss having a guy like him? Not just the production on the field and everything he did for you, but just the guy on the practice field and in the locker room. How much do you miss having that around during the summer?
He was a high energy kid, or is a high energy kid, and I'm sure he's going to take that with him to Ashland. He was a kid that no matter he was extremely talented and gifted, but he also practiced his butt off. He had great energy, and he loved the weight room, loved the practice. We missed that side, but again, that's just an opportunity for somebody else to step up and not be Cam, but be the energy. Like that
Right.
position is wide open.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, since you took over the program, I mean, you've always found a way to just develop a really strong running game. It was Will Heisler when you first stepped in, and then
Mhm.
obviously Cam Jewell the last couple of years. I mean, who do you think is next that's going to spearhead that run game? Because you've done such a good job over the years of just it's not only developed and it's strong, but it's explosive. It seems like every single year.
And a big part of that is a tribute to those kids that you just mentioned. I mean, they
Yeah.
left a legacy. Like if you're going to be a running back for Jonathan Alder, there's expectations that come with it. You need to be explosive. You need to be consistent. Take care of the football. And we have a senior coming back who played some H back and backed up Cam last year, Mason Curtis, who might be the most hardworking kid you'll ever see anywhere. And then along with him, we have some other guys with experience coming in as well with Silas Shoemaker, who's played on both sides of the ball. We got a young guy in Thomas Miller, who's, showing that he's getting close to being ready for that moment.
Yeah. Now, you were a quarterback back in your playing days, and obviously you've coached the
Long time
position.
ago.
But yeah, but Grant Horne's a senior this year. So I guess talk to me about his development and the areas that you've focused on the most with him this offseason, just to kind of get him ready to be the best player he can be going into his last dance this year.
Big thing with Grant is just, he's a multi-sport athlete. So again, it's just finding that shift to football specific type work. But he's always hungry for something new, some new challenge. And what's really fun with him is what he brings with his legs as well. So I mean, he can carve you up in the pass game, and then he's just as likely to take off and make you pay in the run game. He's just a very dynamic athlete, and then also he been a 3-year starter now on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. One of the big things with him is just, continuing to develop as a leader. He's got great leadership qualities, which is something you absolutely have to play quarterback. And he's not afraid to shoulder a bigger chunk of the load on offense this year as well.
Do you hop in there and do some quarterback drills with him sometimes to kind of show him how it's supposed to be done?
I demonstrate as best I can, but I'm
You
not as mobile as I used to be. I
don't
still
sling
tell
it
the
around
kids
as much
though,
anymore.
I could dust a few of them in some sprints. I'll tell you that right
There you
now.
go.
But
I was gonna
the
say.
arm strength isn't what it used to be.
Oh, I'm sure you can still sling it here and there.
Every now and then I have my moments.
There you go. It's like Tom Brady always says. He's like, I'm always going to be able to throw the football. Which he's Tom Brady though. That's why he is who he is. But
Yeah, I think
I
I
feel
still
like
got.
once
I could last a couple quarters of high school football at this point in my life. I think.
that's funny. That's great. Um, I've read some articles just like on your team in the past, and you've always talked about the difficulty of like your schedule and just the challenges it poses at different points of the year. Because the league you play in and the teams that you face every year, there's just a lot of good competition, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you want. But when you look at it this year, what stands out when you look at your schedule? What excites you about it?
It's exciting because again, it's just the challenge of it all. We open with Fairbanks, which is right next door, so there's a lot of shared communities there. Kids grow up together across the street from each other. That's a nice little rivalry just built in based off location. And then week 2 this year, we're going over to Columbus Academy, and that's going to be. I saw some of their film last year. They might have the 5 fastest guys on the field when we get over there. And they're extremely disciplined and play just hard football. So our out of conference schedule is no joke. And then forget week 3, Bloom Carroll, who's
Right.
always going to be good. That program will be good forever. They're well coached. They play hard. But then once we get into our conference play, the people that we know really, really well at this point, there's some just really good teams, and there's a variety that makes it kind of difficult. That's the fun part of high school football. You could play double tight, double wing one week, and the next week you're playing a 5 wide offense. So the variety that we see in our league, the athletes that we see in our league, there's not a single down week on our schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting to watch. We're really looking forward to you guys taking the field again here in 2024. But, Coach, I appreciate you taking 10 minutes out of your day to hop on a pod and just talk JA football for a few minutes, man. But best of luck this year. And thanks again, man, for hopping on and talking some football.
And thank you guys. It's been a great product the last few years.